with the three legs of the tripod, there are mitigants when one leg is short.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
if the borrower has a net worth which is inadequate, borrower may bring in a partner. Borrower may get a lower loan to value.
Okay.
Borrower may have a cash reserve up front. There are ways to mitigate that weakness from the borrower.
Right.
On the cash flow of the tenant, if it is a short lease, lenders don't particularly like the risk of the tenant moving out unless it's a very well located property. You know, I'm looking out your window here, Santa Monica Promenade. Somebody's going to go in and lease it if somebody moves out.
Right.
The rents have gotten a little bit high, so we're starting to price out a number of users, but that space will always be occupied. The only issue is how much rent they'll get for it.
Right. Yeah.
So the cash flow is extremely critical, but if it is either short because of the short-term lease or it has other issues to it, again, there can be mitigants. Lower loan to value. You can go back to the first leg of the tripod, which is the borrower, and the borrower can guarantee the loan if the borrower has a substantial net worth.
Right.
So short-term lease on a well-located building, tenant could move out in the next year. A strong borrower comes in and says, I will sign and I will personally guarantee the loan, and I'm going to replace the tenant when they move out.
Okay.
And so we're able to mitigate the weakness in the cash flow of the building by the borrower.
Okay.
Okay? The one thing that is really difficult to mitigate is an obsolete building or a poorly located building. And I gave you the example before of an industrial building.
Yeah.
Another example would be, because I know you know the Central Valley. What has happened in Bakersfield and Fresno is, unlike Southern California, or at least unlike this area in West LA, areas completely change very quickly. Retail areas, shopping centers, and the classic example is the enclosed mall, which in the 80s was the hottest piece of real estate in the country. Okay. The enclosed mall, where you've got a Penny's on one side, you've got a Sears on the other, you've got a Magnum's. It is this 500,000 square foot enclosed colossus.
Okay.
And for years, for decades, everybody wanted to go there.
Right.
And then maybe 10 to 20 years ago, people started in areas like particularly Fresno and Bakersfield, they decided they're going to start over in new retail areas miles away from the old core retail area. And suddenly that area becomes, in essence, obsolete. And we had one project up there years and years ago where very conservative family bought a Kmart, and they bought it on a 15-year self-amortizing loan, which, as you know, they just want to pay it off fast, and it's very conservative, relatively low loan to value.
Right.
So you've got kind of weak borrowers, but you've got a good tenant, which is Kmart, and the location was okay. Well, turns out as that market evolved and new product was being built 2 miles up, I think it was the 99.
Or 99.
Yeah, up the 99. Turns out our enclosed mall, or in this particular situation, our Kmart was not getting the customers anymore.
Right.
Kmart then goes bust.
Yeah.
And because of the fact that the location was, I guess you could say, had become obsolete, there was not somebody ready to come and move in and take over for Kmart.
Right.
Ever.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, I mean, the types of uses at that point were swap meets, storage, I mean, just nothing.
Yeah, and the rent's much lower.
Yeah, and so the borrowers who were not real estate people got a low loan to value, great, makes sense. Got a rapid amortization to pay it off as quickly as possible, good, that was smart. The problem was really beyond what they predicted, and that is the weakness of Kmart and the shifts within the community of where the new development was going.
Okay.
And so they lost the property. It was foreclosed.
Wow, that's incredible.
And they probably put 50% down.
Wow, that's
There was
that's
no
sad,
solution.
but it's Maine and Maine moves to a different location.
That's right.
That's something that we've actually talked to people about. We were looking at a deal a few years ago for a friend
Right.
in Augusta. I think that was what scared him away. He wasn't
Yeah.
sure if you didn't know if Maine and Maine was going to be a different location.
That's
A
right.
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really like, I mean, it's like the old Wayne Gretzky line, right? People said, why, what was it about you that you always were where the puck was?
Yeah.
And that made you so great. How was it that you were always where the puck was? And he said, I was never where the puck was. I was where the puck was going.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's where I went.
That's very interesting.
And if you're not buying or building within a dense infill location, you really need to know where things are going. Where is the puck going to end up?
Right. Come meet us over at signetinvestments.com. There you'll have access to our full podcast and articles archives. Also, if you subscribe there, you'll get new updates sent straight to your inbox. You can also find us across all social media platforms. Our handle is Signet Investing. Thank you and invest wisely.